Howard, as usual, your memo is required reading for anyone trying to make sense of financial markets. And I should add that I encourage everybody to go and find it on the Oaktree website, read all 16 pages. You make the point, Howard, this is not an ordinary crisis. It's a different kind of a crisis. Valuations are high. Prospective returns are possibly the lowest, not just in your career, but possibly in history. And at one point, you write this, I'm quoting directly, Howard. By dramatically lifting the markets, the Fed may have caused some people to believe that it will always do so, that there's a Powell put that can be counted on to keep things humming. Howard, my question to you is this. What if that is, in fact, Jay Powell's master plan? No more cycles.
Well, Eric, first of all, I doubt that can be achieved. I mean, you know, humans will always go to excess. Every trend will be taken too far. No matter what one does to control the economy, the markets will go to excess, and that will feed back to the economy. I doubt if he really believes that anybody could eliminate cycles. But you know, everybody says, well, recessions are okay in principle, but not right now. And maybe that's the issue.
Well, let me put it to you this way. And of course, we are looking at the market today, not the market of the future. But given the state of its business, one might posit, Howard, that United Airlines debt should trade somewhere around 60 cents. But thanks to the Fed, it's trading close to par. And if the Fed takes a view, perhaps, that there's something of systemic risk in defaults and distress and bankruptcies, is it not possible that they won't allow United Airlines debt to trade down to 60 cents or any other investment-grade debt to trade down to 60 cents ever again?
Well, I don't think so. I think that, first of all, the Fed and the Treasury are taking extraordinary actions these days to avoid a worse condition than we have to have. Many of us think that that it's not appropriate to keep unsuccessful companies in business. I think there's a case I'm not an expert on the airlines, but I believe that there's a case that can be made that they have to be smaller, that fewer people will fly over the next 5 years than flew over the last 5. And the best way for a business to contract is to go through a reorganization in bankruptcy, discharge onerous contracts, and reduce their overheads. But you know, all the airlines would be facing financial difficulties now if it weren't for number one, the specific bailouts of the airlines, and also the general help to the economy. And obviously, the Fed and Treasury have targeted the airlines for specific largesse to preclude their bankruptcies. They don't want a spate of bankruptcies. Now, the Obama administration permitted Chrysler and General Motors to go bankrupt, and I think that they were. I think that was helpful to them. And
is that to say, Howard, that the Fed, in your view, and I do want to make sure that we understand how you see things, that the Fed is forestalling the inevitable, that because of the pandemic and because of the impact that the coronavirus and the fear it has produced is going to have on global travel, for example, that airlines might go bankrupt, or at least they're going to have to resize dramatically in the future, regardless, of how much money the Fed throws at them? And the same would apply, presumably, to cruise lines?
Well, I think that resize is very well might be in the cards. As I say, I'm no expert on the airlines. But, you know, a bankruptcy is usually a good tactical way to do that, because you can discharge onerous contracts and you know, convert debt into equity.
Well, since you bring up bankruptcy, Howard, one manifestation of the lack of return you have noted in credit markets is what's going on right now in distressed credit. Have you ever witnessed the kind of open warfare that is unfolding today among creditors? One investor whom I know well calls it fratricide.
Well, you might call it fratricide. Somebody else might say people energetically exercising their fiduciary duty to maximize the outcome for their clients. I would tend toward the latter. We are not brothers in the sense that we should take it easy on each other and not maximize the interests of our clients. But, the problem, Eric, is that over the years, in pursuit of yield in a low return environment, and we have had a low return environment ever since the global financial crisis, which occurred 12 years ago. Ever since then, we've been in a low return environment, and people have been scrambling to get yield. They've been competing to buy securities, which gives the issuer the upper hand, which permits the issuer to strip out the covenants and the protections as to what they can do to the lender. And when the protections are gone, then it becomes easier for aggressive people to pursue recoveries for themselves and their clients at the expense of other people and their clients.
Oaktree has been one of those aggressive people, collectively, one of those aggressive people, participated in these so-called priming or up-tiering deals that, as you explain, have the result of stripping some creditors of their seniority and their covenants and their collateral protection. A couple of deals I'll mention because people need to have some context, Primark and Board Riders. And the question to you is this: that's the kind of behavior, Howard, that Apollo has always been known for, not Oaktree. And it makes me wonder, it makes some people wonder whether there has been a change of view or thinking among you and your colleagues that you do need to cross the kinds of lines that you weren't prepared to cross before.
Well, Eric, I can't comment on any of Oaktree's specific activities, but we still have the highest standards. We think that everything we have done is the right thing, and that we're playing within the boundaries of the playing field and not over the lines.
Is it possible, though, at the end of the day, it's a losing game for everybody? If everybody is prepared to screw everyone else, then you're going to get screwed as many times as you screwed others?
Well, look, I don't think of it as screwing, and I really resist that terminology. The point is that we have obligations, and we try to carry out those obligations to the best of our ability and still perform with integrity. And I'll have to leave it at that.
No, that is the critical point to be made here, obviously.
I mean, when you talk about fratricide, the alternative is to go, fratricide suggests brothers. So the other debt investors are our brothers, according to that theory, and we should go easy on them because of our relationship. We can't go easy on another firm and fail to carry out our duty to our clients, which is to conscionably maximize their interests.
Howard, I want to go back briefly to the Fed and talk about where Fed money isn't helping. There are huge swaths of the economy that aren't benefiting from the Fed's liquidity. We're talking about restaurants and hotels in many cases, small and medium-sized businesses, the real estate market. Is that credit disconnect a more appropriate reflection of economic fundamentals?
The disconnect is not more appropriate. What you're seeing in the industries and the entities that the Fed can't reach is you're seeing reality, that their businesses have been hurt and their business plans are in jeopardy and their revenues are way down and their employees are at risk. When you look at a company which is not in the same trouble, even though its business is way down, that's not reality. That's papering over problems. And, everybody's been saying that the Fed can provide liquidity, but it can't provide solvency. And so we have a lot of businesses which are inherently, today we call them zombies. Their debt service requirements exceed their cash flow. So they're eating money every day. In some cases, the Fed and Treasury replaced that capital as it got used up, and they stayed in business. In other cases, where they can't reach that far into the economy, they're not covering up the deficiency, and a lot of those go out of business. But I think the latter is what's really going on in the world, and the former is papered over, if you will.